Hey everyone, it's Nick here, and today we just brought you another exciting and I can say a pretty exciting tutorial, and we'll be follow along. You guys can follow along with this tutorial. It's really easy, and this tutorial will be based on our web designs. And let's take a look on what we are creating today. Here's the main thing what we are creating. Everyone wants this for the web. I really looks like I want it, so I created this, which is easily. And yeah, it's really easy to create. You can sense that it's a controlled image slider, and you can see you can go back. It's even loops, so that's the main feature of this thing. It just taken a bunch of lines of codes, like about 6 lines of HTML and 6 lines of CSS. Sorry guys, not CSS, it's actually 6 lines of JavaScript. So close that, and let's take a look on how we're gonna do that. So I will be typing this code in Dreamweaver. You can choose any text editor if you like, but I will be doing this in Dreamweaver, and I will be advising you guys can take this in Dreamweaver too. Now before I start, let me show you one thing. So before we start, we just make sure we have the images in the sequence. Like here we have a sequence of image, which is image. We don't need that, we don't need to count that. It's image 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Make sure you have something in the sequence like that. You can download the images from the description link given below, and make sure you have this thing. You can write anything as example, like your name. It's like Nick 1 underscore 1 or Nick 1, doesn't matter. You just have to make sure you give it as a sequence, like it's Nick 1, then make sure it's Nick 2, Nick 3, Nick 4 and as so on. So that's the trick of this thing, so make sure you have that. And here I have the main thing, like our buttons to control the navigation. So go on and just simply let's create a basic HTML. Now if you don't know anything about HTML, make sure you learn something about basics. You can search on YouTube, and even you can go on check out my videos. So just create a div actually first of all. Wait a sec guys. So let's create a div, and the div will be div. I will give it the ID. Sorry, ID is equals to, now I can give ID as a container, and close the div. Now inside the div we need 3 elements, which will be a first image element, second element will be a div, and third element will be a div too. So end the div, and that's it. Now we can first save this thing as tube.html, or you can write anything, that's your thing. So here we have, so let's go on and try this. So first of all, let's define our CSS for the container. So I'm gonna define this in page. You can go on create an external style sheet. So defining in page, I have my style tags, just go on writing it. So like hashtag container. So if you are a Twitter user, you might be pretty useful to this. I'm not actually, don't know much about the Twitter, but I know that it includes hashtags. So in the container I just will be writing height and width, height about 450 pixels and width about 100 pixels. Sorry guys, it's about 650 pixels, forgot that. Save that, and you can see it's stretched out. That's it. Make sure you have to make this the div in the center of the page, so wherever you just have to align it on your page, so make sure writing it. So to make it center, just write margin. Now now we must define our CSS like this. In the margin section, first top and bottom, which will be from top I need 20 pixels, and from left and right I will be making auto, so it's float center of that. So we'll just go and check out the design view. You can sense that it's in the center, and it's 20 pixels from top. So go on and just simply making that. Now just go on and in the image section and make sure you give a class, and you can write the class as img or anything you like, and just give these two things an ID. this will be a left holder, left holder underscore actual, and this will be ID of our right holder. So save that and simply assign the image source. So in my case I have the images in the folder, which I will be providing the description. You can go on and download that. So it's the image one. It's really huge image, you can sense that it's a pretty huge image, so I have to make sure I define its height and width in the CSS. So just go on and define the height and width for this thing. So that image. Now inside the image we just write about height and width. Why don't we just copy this thing up here? No need to write it again. So paste in here and save that, so it will be shrinking this thing. And you can even make it more shorter landscape view, but I will be not going. You can change things like that. Just an example how you can do that, so it might not be looking pretty awesome, but it works. It really works. And after this tutorial I have a trick for that make it a lot useful and even more attractive. So go on in the image section and make sure you have this assign the position tag about relative, and this thing about position absolute. So if you don't know what position tag does, you can go and search on YouTube. Really awesome tag, really useful to make the positions and make the position of the other elements on the page. Now what we should do, we got that. Now we have to just make our left and right holder to the left. Now first define height and width. Height along 450 pixels and width about 100 pixels enough it for that. Save that and write hash right holder. Same thing have to be copied. Just gonna copy that, and in that simply just gonna go down, paste there, and done that. Now we just have to make sure it's in the left and that's in the right, so make sure give a position about absolute, and just write left 0 pixels and top 0 pixels. Now if you just simply refresh, you can sense that we got our div here, and same thing for this, but in this case we have a right to be 0 pixels and left, and on top will be a 0 pixels. So let's take a look on this thing in design view. If I hit wait a sec guys, just go in speed view, top 0 pixels. We forgot giving a position. So position absolute, make sure you give that or it won't be positioned like that. So going in the design view, you can sense that we have these two divs which gonna hold our buttons. And just I think we are nearly at the end of the HTML and CSS. So I will be taking an image tag in that our whole images. Now for this I'm just gonna expand my code view. Now I'm just gonna assign this as arrow left.png and arrow in this image arrow right.png. I will be giving them a class of left and right. It just doesn't matter. You can give any class, you just have to assign that. So save that and go in the CSS and type. Now make sure you have an external style sheet for this. It might be pretty messy if you combine it with your website. So I will be providing an external style sheet below. This is the same code, and make sure you have this IDs matched. Now just make sure we assign our CSS to left and right. Now in the left, define the height and width for first off. We're just gonna height about 50 pixels both, which will be a square. with 50 pixels. Done that and save it, and just make it from position to be absolute, and from the top make sure it's 40%. Yeah, 40%. And from the bottom, or you can say from the left, actually I forgot, sorry guys, from the left it might be around 0 pixels, because we have to make sure it stick to the left. Make sure, save that and refresh. I'm gonna go to design view, take the live view. You can sense that this looks pretty awesome than this. Go in the speed view, copy this, and no need to write those code again. Just make sure it change the left to right. Save that, and this left will be changing to the right. Now we are actually done with the CSS. Afterwards we're going to take a look on how we can make it more attractive, but still we just first take a look on functionality. So to make it more functional, let's make our JavaScript. Now I can do this in the thing, or I can create an external JavaScript file and attach to this, but I'm going to do it in this thing. For the sake of the tutorial, I'm going to save the time creating that. So I'm going to write script and end the script in between those script files. Now you can write this thing inside the body. Don't write inside the body, you can write between your title tags, which we are in the middle. Now you can write that, give the type equals to text/JavaScript, fine enough. Now in that we just create a variable first of all, and if you don't know what the variable is, make sure you just follow along. I will not be going in a deep description about that. You can find another tutorial of JavaScript, there are plenty of there on the YouTube. Now I will create a variable. Now how to declare a variable? It's simple, just write var and just write the variable name what you want. So I will be taking image count, which will be, now I just want to make sure assign its value, so its initial value will be 1, and I will create another variable with name total, and having the value of how much images I have, it's along 5. Now let's create a function. Now to create a function, just simply write a keyword function, and in the function just make function, and now give a function name. I will be calling at slide, and inside this thing I will create another variable. But to create a variable for the function, just simply write a letter, or you can write the name of the variable. No need to write the var tag. So now open curly phrases. Inside the curly phrases, just write. Now we want this function to be run every time we do the click on this events. So just to define how we're gonna do that. So first of all, we create a variable with name image, and which will be is equals to, now I want this changes every time, like I want this to attach to my image. So how we can do that is just write document dot get element by class. Actually we given a class, and we have actually 3 classes, img, close that and give a semicolon. Now if we do any changes to this image, like image, and I want to change the source of it dot src, which will be equals to, now open a curly quote, open double quote, and inside the double quote just write your location where your file is. I will be in my case it's images. You can if you are on remove, you can check on here in your root folder where it is. So images / and in the / I just write img, and this is why I told you to do this sequence. Now we just end the double quote, give an addition sign, and inside this I just gonna copy and write the image count, and give additional plus sign, and in the double quote just start with another double quote, write .jpg, and if your image file is a png, make sure I change it as png, and then done that. You can see it's done. Now this is why I told you to do this image 1.jpg 2, 3, 4 and 5. So if this value is 1, it will be referring to the image 1, and if its value changes, the image changes. You can see it's till 5, so it's going to change till 5. So this make sure we have an increment. So before this image source, we just write, I'm gonna copy that image count. Now I want the increment in the image count every time I click on those buttons. So image count is equals to image count plus 1. Save that. And I also forgot that it's not will be 1, it's x. Here's the function variable. So go in this, so in the HTML we just have to make sure we call our function. So to call our function, just write in this thing, so write on click, which will be my our function name, which is slide, and inside this we just have to make sure we give the value of x, which might be 1 or -1. In left it will be -1 case. I'm gonna copy that whole thing, copy, go down and paste there, refresh. So before checking that, we just have to make sure that I really came in my mind. This trick only works with ID, so I have to make sure this class is switched to ID, and in the CSS have to be changed enough. So I will write #img, and I'm just gonna write this again, the whole thing. So I will just write document dot get element by ID now, because we change it to ID. So which ID is image. I'm gonna save that and take a look in the browser, hit refresh and take a look in the browser. You can sense that now it's working, it's switching back and going forth. So that's all the thing we needed. You can make or so you can switch the height and width, because it looks like a stretched vertical, but you can carry on with that. So it's working, but you can check the problem is my last image. If I go for any further, the image source is not defined, and if I go to my first image and if I go back, the image source is not defined. So how we make it looping? To make it looping, it's a lot easier. You just have to write, and we can just have to make if statements. Now below this thing I will create an if statement. And how to create an if statement? This is the syntax of creating if statement. Now I can write if, and now if image count, I can simply image count is greater than, I can say image count is greater than of total, which is our containing containing value, which how much images we have. If it's greater, then do one thing, just make sure you switch the image count to 1. I'll give a semicolon. That's it, and create another if statement. Now if our image count is less than 1, so what we should do, we should make sure that if the image count is less than 1, then make sure our image count gets switches to total. Save that, give a semicolon, refresh. I think that's done, and we might go in my we'll go in the browser and recheck that. So let's first of all go and check the last thing. My last image switches to my first, and my first image switches to the last. So that's all. It's what is said to be looping. Now to make it automatic, it's really simple. This thing is really useful. You can do much tricks with this thing. Now to make it automatic, just make sure you copy this bunch of lines of codes. We create a function and go on and type some extra code, which is really easy. Don't worry about that. Just write window dot set interval and just paste this code. and give us comma, and define your time, how much time you wanted to switch the image. I will be saying around 5000. It's in milliseconds, so don't worry about that. And 5000, give close this and give a semicolon. That's it. So we are done with this. So make sure we just remove this slide, change the function name to slide A, which is automatic, and in the X we just make sure we type 1. Now we have to call this function when our body, how you can say, when HTML is loaded. So in your body tag, just write on load, just write the function name, which is slide A, and done that. I might be thinking that it works, so just gonna take a look on that browser. Wait for some time, wait for some time, and wait for some time. Yeah, you can sense that it switches. So that's the trick of doing that, and this is what we can take the power of JavaScript. So that's it, guys. You're done, and if you have followed that, you successfully did that. And make sure you guys, if you find it useful, and so make sure you give it a like or thumbs up to make my work pretty useful. And make sure, if you are really interested in this tutorial, you can subscribe to my channel to get more sort of things.